I do wish that more of our good citizens would go into politics, and would do it in the same spirit with which their fathers went into the federal armies. There must be absolute religious liberty, for tyranny and intolerance are as abhorrent in matters intellectual and spiritual as in matters political and material, and more we must all realize that conduct is of infinitely greater importance than dogma. I have always been fond of Josh Billings's remark that it is much easier to be a harmless dove than a wise serpent. There are plenty of decent legislators, and plenty of able legislators, but the blamelessness and the fighting edge are not always combined. Both qualities are necessary for the man who is to wage active battle against the powers that prey. A man's first duty is to pull his own weight and to take care of those dependent upon him. We must hold to a rigid accountability those public servants who show unfaithfulness to the interests of the nation or inability to rise to the high level of the new demands upon our strength and our resources. Credit should go with the performance of duty, and not with what is very often the accident of glory. They understood that I paid no heed to where they came from, no heed to their creed, politics, or social standing, that I would care for them to the utmost of my power, but that I demanded the highest performance of duty, while in return I had seen them tested, and knew I could depend absolutely on their courage, hardihood, obedience, and individual initiative. Thrice happy is the nation that has a glorious history. Thrice happy is the nation that has a glorious history. Do not hit at all if it can be avoided, but never hit softly. A man must think well before he marries. He must be a tender and considerate husband and realize that there is no other human being to whom he owes so much of love and regard and consideration as he does to the woman who with pain bears and with labor rears the children that are his. The insistence upon individual responsibility was, and is, and always will be, a prime necessity. A man does in very fact become fearless by sheer dint of practicing fearlessness when he does not feel it. There were all kinds of things of which I was afraid at first, ranging from grizzly bears to mean horses and gunfighters, but by acting as if I was not afraid I gradually ceased to be afraid. Love of peace is common among weak, short-sighted, timid, and lazy persons, and on the other hand courage is found among many men of evil temper and bad character. Neither quality shall by itself avail. With soul of flame and temper of steel we must act as our coolest judgment bids us. Any man who has met with success, if he will be frank with himself, must admit that there has been a big element of fortune in the success. I had always felt that if there were a serious war I wished to be in a position to explain to my children why I did take part in it, and not why I did not take part in it.